right. So polynomial, find this page. The definition is blank, so let's write this down. Polynomial is the sum of one or more monomials. The word monomials, sometimes we use the word terms, okay? So, for example, x squared plus 5, how many terms is that? How many terms is x squared plus 5? 2. So that's a polynomial because one more than one, right? One or more. And then 6x to the third minus 3x plus 100, that's 3 terms. That's grouped in the polynomial. And then the next one has 4 terms, but all of that, guys, they're all called polynomial, okay? So last night, you guys studied how to factor difference of 2 squares, right, students? If you have a square, you have squares, meaning you have 2 of them. If there's a minus, means difference, then you can go further. Can we factor sum of 2 squares? Is it possible to factor out sum of 2 squares from last night? Yeah. Last night, sum of 2 squares. Is it possible? Yes or no? Last night, sum of 2 squares. Look at your notes, flip over. If you have an addition, 2 terms, and the terms were square, we'll be able to factor, i.e., okay, x squared plus 4. Can I factor that? What would be the factors? X what? I can't hear. X and 2. So like, what do I write? Oh, plus 2 times x plus 2. Would you agree that we can FOIL it to check? Let's FOIL. X squared times x squared is? I'm sorry, just give you the answer. X times x is? X squared. X times 2 is? 2x. 2 times x is? 2x. 2 times 2 is? Is that identical to x squared plus 4? No. So, if it's the sum of squares, can we factor? No. All right. Question. If it's the difference of squares, can we factor? Yeah. Yes. Because when you factor out, remember the factors were conjugates. Remember this? And what happened to conjugate terms? The middle terms always what? Cancel. So that's what the difference is. Okay. Now, but the sum and difference of cubes, guess what? We can factor both of them. Okay? Addition or subtraction of 2 cubes. So let's start with the first formula. The first formula, it's already in your notes packet, so you don't have to write anything down, just pay attention. We have a cubed plus b cubed. So the formula would be a plus b. So if this sign is a plus, students, then this sign is always plus. Okay? Then times a quantity, the next factor is a trinomial. So we got a squared minus ab and plus b squared. Okay? Now over here, we have difference of 2 cubes here. If it's a cubed minus b cubed, students, then guess what? We start out with what right away? If it's an a cubed minus b cubed, your first factor would have a what? A minus. So a minus b times the quantity of a squared plus ab plus b squared. Raise your hand if you guys have heard the word soap before from your teacher, your friend. Soap. Anybody? Anybody remember what S stands for in soap? Soap. I know. Wash your hands with it. So it stands for, the S stands for the same. What this means is, if we have an addition, then this right here will be the same. What are we saying the same? Same what? Same sign. Can you guys see it? So S stands for the same sign. So if we start out with an addition, then we would start out with what? An addition, right? O stands for, take a wild guess. What do you think O stands for what? Opposite. Yep. Okay. So that's the opposite sign. It's O. So O is opposite. And anybody remember AP? Look at the last term right there. AP is always addition, always positive, right? AP, always positive is the last one. So S is the same sign, whatever you are given. If it's a sum of two cubes, then you're going to have the sum. And then the next one is opposite. So if you are already with the plus, then the next sign has to be a minus. And AP is, one more time, always positive is the last term, okay? And then let's practice. You're going to love this. Okay. Now, whether you have a calculator or not, help me out with this. 1 to the third. 1 cube is 1. 2 cube? 3 to the third? 4 to the third? Ooh, 5 to the third. 6 to the third. 216. You guys are good, okay? 7 to the third. 3, 4, 3. You guys got this? All right. 8 to the third. Did your teacher back then tell you to memorize all of this? And then 9 to the third? 7 what? 29. And obviously the last one is? Good. So if we see those, then that will help us out a little bit. Okay. Factor completely. We have the first 4 examples here and then the last 3 on there. First thing in factoring, check for GCF, right? Example 1, x to the third plus 512. Any GCF? No. But would you guys agree that it's a plus sign in the middle? So we know even if it's squares, right, we can't factor. True or false? True. So we might want to see if it's what? Cubes, okay? Well, I know x to the third is one of the cube terms. So something cubed plus something cubed. What goes in the first blank? So when we cube it, is exactly the same as our original question.
8.
You mean on this one?
Yeah.
Did you say what?
It's x.
X?
8.
And then you said 8. Do you guys agree with Sam or no? All right. So remember, the formula says a cubed plus b cubed equals a plus b. So what is a? X. What is b? 8. And then we use the formula and plug it in. Right. All right. So plus or minus? Plus. Okay. So it will be a plus b. So a is what? X. B is 8. Next is plus or minus? Minus, right? Because it's opposite. Now, what do we feel like? It's a square. What is a square? X square, right? Minus a times b. What is a times b? What is a again? X. What's b again? 8. What's x times 8? 8x. Now, the last sign is always positive. But it's b squared, right, students? So what's 8 squared? 64. And guess what? We box it up because we are done. Okay. Now, someone tell me, how come the last trinomial is not factorable? Sam? Can we find 2 numbers when we multiply equals 64 and add equals -8? No, right? Not possible. So that's why we leave the trinomial as a trinomial. Okay? All right, let's do this one. Numero dos. It's 2 terms. There's a minus Is it the difference of two squares? Yes. Two squares. Square. Is it different two squares? No. Could it be different to two cubes? Yes. Yes. Let's check it out. Something cubed, students, minus something cubed. What goes in my first blank? 5 what? X. What goes in our second blank? 4. So A equals what? 5x. B equals what? 4, because we need to use our formula. Here we go. We start out with A minus B. So what's A? 5x minus, what's B? 4. Times a big quantity. Now, if you are confused, then go in here and write A squared, right, plus AB, right, students? And then plus B squared. True or false? True. Okay, remember, just follow the formula. So when we have A squared, fill that in with 5x, and then it's A times B. That's 5x times 4, and that's B squared, and that's 4. So far, so good? And then we do the basic math, and then we box it up. What's quantity of 5x squared? 25x squared. So if you can go straight up and write 25x squared, wonderful. What is 5x times 4? 20x. What is the quantity of 4 squared? Yeah. And then we drop this down because we can't really simplify this guy right here. And then we box that up. So if you can do straight up quantity of 5x squared, then just write in 25x squared. But if you need to write out the parentheses and then quantity squared to help you later, then write that out. Okay. All right. Example 3. First thing in factoring, what do? Check out the, do we have any? Yeah? No? Yes? Yeah. Take out 2. What's left? X cubed minus 27. Done? No. Because what do we see? This is something to the third minus something to the third, right, students? With the 2 in the front. What is that first something? X. What's our second something? 3. So A is X. B is 3. All right. Would you agree that the GCF is always going to be in front of our answer? All right. Let's rock and roll. A minus B. What do we write? X minus? Perfect. Now tell me what to write. X squared, because it's A squared, right? Okay, good. Plus, because it's opposite. X times 3, which is 3x. You're right, it is A times B. Then, what's next? Plus 9, because where did 9 come from? 3 squared. Yep, it's B squared. Box it up. Woo, look at number 4. Any GCF at all? No? Okay. There's a plus sign, so I know it's not factorable if it's squares, right? But is it cubes? Yeah. Okay, something cubed plus something cubed, y'all. Fill it in. What's my first something? 2x. What is our second something? 9. Woo. So that means A equals what? 2x. Mean B equals what? 9. All right, let's see. We start out with same sign. So what's our first sign? Positive. Tell me what to write in front of that positive sign. 2x plus what? 9. All right. Times what? A squared. So I'm going to write it. If you can get it straight up, you can. A squared minus or plus? Minus A times B plus B squared. Right, students? All right. So a squared minus a, which is times b, and then plus b squared. All right, so now we're going to do the basic math, and we'll box it up. All right, final answer. What do we write? 2x plus 9. We drop that down over here. What's a quantity of 2x squared? 4x squared minus 2x times 9 minus 18x plus the quantity of 9 squared plus 81. Box that up. A couple more questions on the next page. I'm going to leave that right there so you can copy it down. Am I going too fast? No? Okay. All right, guys. So we have done pretty much all form of factoring, okay? And you guys know the first thing we do in factoring is check for? Yep, that doesn't change. Doesn't matter what we throw at you, okay? Now, once we are done with the factors, what do we use to see if our factors are correct? We FOIL, yeah, right? We can FOIL to check our answers. Do you guys agree? Now, when the instruction says factor, we have to factor completely, okay? So sometimes we go a long way. So here we go. Number 5, we have 3 more. X to the 4th plus 11x to the 3rd minus 4x squared minus 44x. Factor completely. So step number 1, check for, do we have any? What is it? Okay, what's left? X cubed plus 11x squared, okay, minus 44. Now what? Box it up, call it a day, take a nap, eat some lunch? No. Now what? We have 4 terms. How do we always factor 4 terms? By grouping. All right. Do the fence. You're right. Group number 1, x to the 3rd plus 11x squared. What do we have in common? What's left? Good. Now this is a negative, so we are going to take out a negative. A negative what? 4. Good. And remember, when we take out factor or take out, we mean to divide, right, students? So, negative 4x divided by negative 4. What's left? Yeah, x, what is it? Plus 11, because negative 44 divided by negative 4 is a positive, right? Are these two groups the same? So now we have x plus 11 times x squared minus 4. Box it up, call it a day? No. Someone tell me why no. There's a minus sign. And that has how many terms? That right there has how many terms? 2. The 2 terms are both what kind of term? Cubes or square? Ah, square. If it's square, can we go further? Yes. What is square root of x squared? X. What's square root of 4? 2. So guess what? One's a plus and one is a minus. Okay, and then drop down x plus 11. Now can I box that up? No? There's a minus sign, right? But it's x the square term? No, it's 2 a square term? Nope. So guess what? We are done. Oh, I dropped down the x. Oh yeah, don't forget. Thank you. Drop it down. Now we're done. Yeah, so that's a lot of factors. All right, let's do this one. Woo! Let's see how many factors we're going to get. Is there a minus in the middle? Yeah, okay. Square terms, cube. Oh, is it cube? What is something to the, I love this. Something cube Let's see. Something cube. Is it cube? X to the what? I mean m, not x. M to the third or square? Square. Because power to the power, you multiply, right, students? How about 64? Something to the 4. Okay, so 4. So A equals M what? M squared, thank you. B equals 4, all right. So let me make my ginormous parentheses here. It's a minus, so we will start with minus, okay? So M squared minus 4 times the quantity of, remember, it's A squared. So what's A? M. So it's something square. Is that okay? Plus something times something. A times B. So far so good? I need to extend this. Plus something square. Okay. So A square, we know A is what? M square. And then plus A times B. So I'm going to write it first. And then we'll simplify. And then B squared is 4. Okay, so now we are going to go and see. Let's make it pretty. M squared minus 4 times, what's M squared square? Woo! M to the 4th. So when we have power to the power, students, we add the powers, okay? So power to the power, we multiply. Ooh, power to the power, we multiply. What's M squared times 4? 4M squared. What's 4 square? 16. Okay. Now, box that up? Whoa, why not? Because this is a minus sign and the terms are square. Look at this. So that means I can go, what's square root of M squared? M. What's square root of 4? 2. So there's a plus and there's a minus, right? Yes, no, maybe? All right. I'm going to copy this down. Okay. Can you guys see that actually your class recognized this as a cube, difference of cubes? My other class, you know what they recognize this as? Difference of squares. What's square root of M to the 6? What's square root of M to the 6? M3, yep. Okay. What's square root of 64? 8, you're right. So look, they went this route. Can you guys see it? Well, isn't that what? Sum and difference of snap. Can you guys see it? So they said, okay, well, they went cube. So can you see that this is M plus 2? This is just this first one for now. Can you see it? Times, what's left with just the M cubed plus 8? What's left? Remember, A plus B times the quantity of A squared. What's A? M squared minus AB. What's A and what's B? Yep, remember, A is M. B is what? Not 8, but 2. So in the middle, when we do A times B, is minus how many M? 2M. Then plus B squared. So what would that be? Plus 4. Okay. So that's just one. What do we do with the other? M, what? Minus 2 times M squared plus 2M plus 4. These are as far as we can go. But guys, check it out for me. I'm going to pin this in. Can you guys see that I have two different answers? Yes or no? They look crazy different. But when we FOIL them back, should they give us identical answer to m to the 6 minus 64? Yes. Okay. So we can have both for this particular case. All right, guys? So in this case, we can have both answers, but when we multiply it back, it will be the same. It's kind of like some of you guys like to give me a half, and then some of you guys want to give me like 0.5, right? They look crazy different. So if you show this to like my kids that are like, you know, like 5 years old, they're like, what is that? Like they don't know the difference, right? But like as you get older, like, oh, that's the same. Same thing with these factors, okay? All right, last one. GCF or no? What is it? What? 2x. Sorry, I didn't hear. Okay, what's left? Okay, yeah. So remember, when we take out GCF, that is the same thing as dividing each term by 2x, okay? All right, then we got 3x squared, you said? Minus x minus 10. Box it up, call it a day? No, okay, we want to check, right? A times c is over here, and then the b term goes here. What's a times c? Negative 30, and when we add them, it has to equal to what? Negative 1. Can you possibly give me two numbers when we multiply equals negative 30, and when we go and add it, the two numbers, add them, we have a negative 1. Six and 5, okay, but one of it's got to be what? Okay, which one's negative? Yep, negative 6. So negative 6 plus 5 is negative 1. Perfect. Then we're going to rewrite this. Okay. All right. And then 4 term by grouping. First group has 3x in common. True or false? What's left? X minus 2, right? Then the second group has what in common? 5. What's left? Good. These two are exactly the same. So we got 3x plus 5 times the quantity of x minus 2. And we drop what down? 2x down. Now we box that up. And that is a wrap. Woo woo! We are done with Unit 1, y'all.